Well, welcome back to Weather Nation. We're taking a look at what's happening with the tropics, and we're noticing a disturbance now that's moving through parts of the tropical Atlantic. This one not really forecast to form into really a tropical storm or really a major system. It has about a 20% chance of forming into the next named storm, but it's out there and it could bring rain. It's actually already bringing some moisture to the Windward and Leeward Islands. And as we continue to follow the track of where this storm may go, we could potentially talk about more rain and even some gusty wind impacts across parts of the Caribbean. So Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, Jamaica, you want to keep an eye on this disturbance because whether or not it forms into a tropical system, it is something out there that could impact you. Now, let's take a look at some of the conditions that can help this system potentially strengthen. And for that, we want to take a look at the temperatures because typically when you have temperatures above 79 degrees, above 80 degrees in the waters, that's favorable for development when it comes to tropical systems. And we definitely have temperatures in the low to mid 80s out there now. But a couple other things that we have that are hindering that development are just some stronger winds higher up in the atmosphere, producing wind shear or leading to wind shear, and that's something that's not favorable for tropical systems to develop. Now, we're also keeping a track on what's happening with Tropical Storm Ernesto. This storm system was subtropical yesterday. It has formed now into a tropical storm, max winds at 45 miles per hour. And as we take a look at the latest track with this system is heading toward places like Ireland and even eventually toward places like the United Kingdom. And so we're talking about whether or not this system impacts them as a tropical storm. We could still be dealing with gusty winds and heavy rain across this part of the world. So if you have any family or friends over there in Ireland or in the United Kingdom, just give them a heads up. A system could potentially be impacting them late Saturday into Sunday with heavy rain and some gusty winds. Now let's take a look at a few other things. Again, we're heading toward the peak of hurricane season, so we are definitely on the rise in terms of hurricane activity and tropical storm activity. We typically see the peak happening more or less right around September 10th, so that's something we're moving toward to in terms of date. And as we get more activity, we'll go through more names, and the next storm to form will be named Florence, and after that, it'll be Gordon. Now let's take a look at what's happening in the eastern tropical Pacific. We've seen a number of storms develop and move toward the west across this region over the past few weeks and even the last few months. And we have one more out there, Hurricane Lane. That one recently formed. And by the time we get to Tuesday, this storm system could be traveling pretty close to the Hawaiian Islands. And potentially by Wednesday morning, it could be a storm system that's traveling just south of the islands as a Category 2 hurricane. And just similar to the previous storm that passed nearby, we could see some high surf concerns develop across parts of the Big Island and some of the other islands that make up Hawaii. So that's something we're keeping an eye on. And as we take a look at the next named storms on the list, we have Lane out there now, but Miriam would be the next if any other storms decide to develop in the eastern tropical Pacific. But now let's take you out to New York City because we're talking about some heat being out there today. We have some heat concerns, and we're also talking about really some warmth being out. Storm chances being out there as well.
Yeah, we are going to be replacing that morning sunshine with some clouds as we head late in the day. We are on track for more soggy weather returning to the northeast, and it's been a soggy several months. On average, since June 1st, we normally pick up about 11.5 inches. Here's what we've actually seen, over 17. We've been seeing above average rainfall recently, and we have more storms ahead in the forecast. This is coming with a cold front that's still a little ways out to our west, but by the evening, this is approaching and it's going to bring in rain first inland and eventually out to the coastal areas, including New York City, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. by Friday night into Saturday morning. Now this front moves off the coast for New England through Saturday, but it's still impacting areas of the southeast, bringing in more heavy rain chances through the day Saturday before this winds down late Saturday into Sunday. So for today, we have a high chance of excessive rainfall for areas like Burlington and Albany, New York, really looking at more of the upstate areas, more of the inland areas for the heavy rain today. But we are going to be taking a look at more heavy rain headed south as we move into Saturday, as that cold front continues to drape over areas of Alabama, Georgia, parts of the Carolinas as we move into the start of the weekend. Now for Portland, it's going to be a soggy forecast as well. We're looking at temperatures in the 70s today and tomorrow with storm chances through Saturday, then drying out. Follow us on our Roku app for more.